How is it going, guys? Welcome to MT Garage. If you're new, my name's Matt, and today we are going to be working on my EP3 Civic. It's actually a parts car, but I want to show you guys how to remove the taillights because I've been having some difficulty with it, and I couldn't really find a whole lot online on how to do it. So I want to help you guys out to make sure that you're not going to make the same mistake that I did. And hopefully you can get this out in one piece. So before I get started, I just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button below. We got a lot of content that comes out about Hondas, and we also have an S14 Silvia. We also have a Mark III Supra drift car. So if you want to stay up to date with that kind of thing and see what we're up to, definitely hit that subscribe button. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get started. So this is my 2004 EP3 Civic SIR. And it was actually in a collision, so it can no longer be driven on the road, so it has to be a parts car. So I'm in the middle of parting this thing out, and I got the driver's side taillight removed. And the problem that I faced, because I'm used to doing older Civics like this one here, normally to remove the taillights, you got a few 8mm nuts that you remove, and then it should just pop out. That's not the case on the EP3, so you do still have the 8mm nuts holding it in place. But what I didn't realize is that there's also a bolt from underneath. So this is actually underneath the bumper bracket, and when I was pulling on it, I assumed it was just a clip. So when I was pulling on it, I used too much force, and it actually ended up snapping part of the lens on the taillight, and that's the part that holds it in place. So if you look here on the bottom of the taillight, you can see where I kind of cracked it there. I want to attempt to get the passenger side off now, and it looks like what I'm gonna have to do first is remove the bumper. So let's get started on that. I'll walk you guys through it, and then we'll see if we can get this taillight out in one piece. So first thing that I'm going to do is remove these bolts. There's one on this side and one on this side. They're both 10mm. So I got my ratchet here. I'm gonna quickly zip those out, and then there's also as you can see, this one's a bit broken from the collision, but there's also a bolt underneath here, which you can use a 10mm or a Phillips head screwdriver to remove that, and then that would release it from that bracket as well. So those are the first things that you got to do, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now with those bolts removed, you also have your fender liner back here, which is attached by a Phillips head screw. So you're going to want to remove that. And because this bumper is aftermarket, I think that's all that's holding it in place. So if we get underneath here, you can see there's a bracket here and one on this side. So this bumper being aftermarket isn't held on the bottom. But by looking at these brackets, I'm assuming that a factory bumper would be held on with clips. So you're going to want to take those clips off as well, and then the bumper should slide off. So I'm going to remove that Phillips head screw over there, and then it should slip off. Okay, so with the bumper off of there, now we can see underneath here. This is where my problem was. So there's actually a Phillips head screw holding on the bottom of the taillight, and as you can see, you can't really fit a screwdriver in here. So another option is to remove this bracket altogether. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is just these two 10mm nuts here, and then this bracket will come off. And then I'll see if I can remove the Phillips head screw once the bracket's off of there. But for now, I want to get this taillight off of here. So it's the same on this side. We got the Phillips head screw holding it on from the bottom, and then the two 10mm holding the bracket on. So I'm going to get started taking these two 10mm nuts off of here, and then we can move on to the inside. So with those two 10mm nuts off of there now, the bracket is loose. So now we want to move to the inside of the car. So there's this plastic cover here that's being held on just by some clips. So what you can do is take a flathead screwdriver, or if you have a plastic trim removal tool, you can see there's a little notch up here. Just stick it in there and lightly pry. and then it pops off, and that gives you access to your bulbs as well as the 8mm nuts holding the taillight in place. So we'll start by removing the bulbs, which all you have to do is grab each one by the connector, turn it counterclockwise, and then the bulb will pop out. So on this particular one, there's 3 different ones. I think different models of Civics have different types of bulbs depending on where you are, but just remove all the bulbs, and then we'll get started removing the 8mm nuts. Alright, so as you can see, there are 3 different nuts that you're going to want to remove. So there's the one here that I've already moved, there's one up here, and then there's one, I don't know if you can see, but it's up behind this plastic here. So if we have a look at the other taillight, you might be able to see it a bit better. It's right at the top. So there's 2, and then one right at the top. Once those are out, then fingers crossed, it should just pop out now that I have that bracket loose. So I'm gonna get the other 2 8mm loosened off, and then we'll see if we can pop this out of here. Alright, so I got all 3 nuts off of there, and that should be everything holding the taillight in place. So I'm gonna try pushing from behind. Just put my hand on the back of where one of the bulbs would have been, and it should pop out. Here it comes. So now I'm gonna grab it from the front side. There, that's a lot better. So that is how you remove the taillight from the EP3 Civic properly. It should slip out quite easily. It's not being held in by any clips whatsoever. So if you're feeling some resistance, something else is holding it in place. So that's it for today's how-to, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped you guys out, because I certainly would have loved to have a video like this out when I wanted to remove my taillight, because now I'm stuck with a broken one that I got to try to fix. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing. Definitely give me a thumbs up if it helped you guys out. And drop me a comment too, because we love to hear feedback from you guys. And we will see you on the next one.